Ian Lindsay of Lindsay and Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. Ian has received several awards recognizing his exceptional community commitment locally, as well as awards for outstanding performance and achievement from both RE/MAX International and the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.
In a little town by the sea where the stories never end, lived Captain Dave and his crew, every child's favorite friend, with a smile as wide as the ocean and a heart that's full of dreams. He sails a mellow submarine where magic gleams and beams. Every morning at sunrise, when the world awakes anew, Captain Dave and his crew set sail in waters deep and blue. Through the ticking clock of time, where adventures come alive, they laugh and learn and play each day in their underwater dive. Captain Dave and the Mellow Submarine.
In the glistening waters of Deep Bay, there existed a submarine unlike any other. The Mellow Submarine was not a vessel of stern military precision or cold underwater exploration, but a floating testament to joy, friendship, and unbridled adventure. At its helm stood Captain Dave, a maritime explorer whose reputation for cheerfulness was as legendary as the submarine itself. Captain Dave was a sailor who defied every traditional expectation. Where most captains wore crisp, dark uniforms that spoke of discipline and formality, Dave wore a bright yellow captain's hat that seemed to capture the very essence of sunshine. His laugh was infectious, a sound so genuine and warm that it could penetrate the deepest ocean depths and bring smiles to the most serious of sea creatures. His first mate was equally extraordinary. Larry the Lobster had a bright red shell that gleamed like polished ruby and impressive claws that moved with surprising grace. Larry had long ago decided that life was too short to be spent in the murky depths. Most lobsters spent their days scuttling along the ocean floor, hunting for food and avoiding predators. But Larry? He had chosen a path of adventure, companionship, and exploration. The morning of their beach day dawned with a promise of extraordinary possibilities. Captain Dave stood at the periscope, his eyes scanning the horizon with a mixture of excitement and wonder that never seemed to diminish, no matter how many adventures they had experienced. "Larry!" he called out, his voice resonating through the submarine's corridors with theatrical enthusiasm. "Prepare yourself for the most magnificent beach day Deep Bay has ever witnessed." Larry scuttled up the narrow corridor, his claws clicking against the metallic floor. His antennae twitched with excitement, a sure sign that he was just as thrilled about their upcoming expedition. "A beach day, Captain?" he asked, his voice a mixture of curiosity and delight. "Shall I prepare our most exceptional picnic provisions?" "Absolutely," Captain Dave responded, spinning the submarine's wheel with a dramatic flourish that sent a playful ripple of movement throughout the vessel. "We shall have a picnic that will become maritime legend." With the precision of a master chef, Larry began assembling their lunch. Seaweed sandwiches were carefully constructed, each layer placed with precision. The kelp chips were arranged in intricate fan patterns that would make any culinary artist proud. The maritime fruit salad was lovingly prepared in a coral bowl that Captain Dave had collected during one of their previous adventures, a memento that held memories of past journeys. The Mellow Submarine glided through the crystal-clear waters of Deep Bay, its yellow and blue hull cutting through the waves with a grace that seemed almost magical. Schools of fish darted alongside them, as if sensing the joy and excitement coming from the vessel. Tiny marine creatures would peek out from coral formations and wave a fin or a tentacle in greeting before disappearing back into their underwater homes. Captain Dave's expertise became evident as they approached the shoreline. With a skill that seemed almost supernatural, he guided the submarine to a perfect landing. The vessel bumped gently against the sand, coming to rest on a stretch of beach that looked like it had been designed specifically for their picnic. Larry hurried to the galley to check on their picnic preparations. He had prepared all their favorite treats: seaweed sandwiches, coral cookies, and his famous kelp juice smoothies. Everything was packed neatly in their special waterproof picnic basket. "All ready, Captain!" Larry called out, his voice carrying a musical lilt that always made Captain Dave smile. The captain saw that the sub was resting safely on the shore and then pressed a big button marked "Transform." With a series of whirs and clicks, the Mellow Submarine's wheels emerged from its sides, and its top opened up like a convertible car. As they rolled onto the sandy beach, the warm sun greeted them directly. Captain Dave helped Larry carry the picnic supplies to the perfect spot, just out of reach of the gentle waves as they kissed the shore. The two sailors spread out their checkered blanket, weighted down the corners with pretty seashells they had collected on previous adventures. "What a glorious day!" Captain Dave proclaimed as Larry arranged their lunch with the same care and attention to detail he applied to all of their submarine operations. Just as they were about to take their first bites, a shadow passed over them, followed by a loud squawk. Looking up, they saw a seagull circling above them, his white feathers gleaming in the sunlight. "Well, hello there," Captain Dave called out, waving in a friendly fashion. The seagull landed nearby, tilting his head curiously at the unusual pair. "I'm Sam," the seagull introduced himself, taking a few careful steps closer. "I couldn't help but notice your wonderful picnic setup. I've never seen a lobster and a human sharing lunch before." Larry beamed proudly. "That's because we're not just any lobster and human. We're the crew of the Mellow Submarine. I'm Larry, and this is Captain Dave. Would you like to join us for lunch?" Sam's eyes lit up at the invitation, but he tried to maintain his composure. "Oh, I wouldn't want to impose," he began, but Captain Dave was already making space on the blanket. "Nonsense," the captain declared. "There's plenty of room for everyone. Larry always packs extra just in case we meet new friends. It's one of our most important rules aboard the Mellow Submarine. Always be ready to share adventure and food with others." Sam settled onto the blanket, and soon the three of them were chatting like old friends. The seagull shared fascinating stories about his travels up and down the coast, while Captain Dave and Larry told him about their underwater adventures in the Mellow Submarine. As the afternoon wore on, they played beach games together. Sam taught them a seagull version of pickleball. Larry proved to be surprisingly good at it, despite his claws, while Captain Dave kept falling onto the sand, laughing heartily each time. They built elaborate sandcastles, with Sam providing an aerial view to ensure their towers were perfectly aligned. Larry decorated the walls with tiny shells and pieces of colorful sea glass, while Captain Dave constructed a drawbridge using seaweed and driftwood. When the sun began to dip lower in the sky, painting the clouds in brilliant shades of pink and orange, Sam helped them pack up their picnic supplies. "This has been the most wonderful afternoon," the seagull said, his eyes bright with happiness. "I usually spend my days just flying around looking for food, but this was special." Captain Dave and Larry exchanged knowing looks. "Well then," the captain said, "perhaps you'd like to join us again tomorrow. We're planning to explore the Rainbow Reef. It's just past the lighthouse." Sam's wings fluttered with excitement. "Really? You'd want me to come along?" Of course, Larry clicked his claws in agreement. Every crew needs a lookout, and who better than a seagull? Besides, you've already proven you're excellent company. And so, as they loaded the last of their supplies back into the Mellow Submarine, they had gained not just wonderful memories of a perfect day, but also a new crew member. Sam promised to meet them at the dock the next morning, bright and early. As the day began to wind down, casting a warm orange glow across Deep Bay, Captain Dave turned to Sam with a twinkle in his eye. "Would you like to see something truly magical?" he asked, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Sam ruffled his feathers in anticipation. "Always," he responded, his curiosity surging. With a press of a button, the submarine's underwater lights illuminated the surrounding waters. The sea transformed into a living canvas of bioluminescence, tiny organisms glowing with their own light in breathtaking shades of blue and green and purple. It was as if someone had scattered living stars beneath the water's surface. "Incredible!" Sam gasped, his beak open in pure wonder. "In all my flights over these waters, I've never witnessed anything like this." Larry chuckled, a sound that was part click, part laugh. "That's the magic of the Mellow Submarine," he said. "We don't just travel, we discover. We don't just observe, we experience." As evening approached, it was time to bid farewell. Sam had transformed from a chance encounter to a true friend, a connection that transcended the boundaries of sea and sky. Back inside the Mellow Submarine, as they prepared to navigate home through the gentle waters of Deep Bay, Larry turned to Captain Dave. "Another wonderful day," he said, clicking his claws in contentment. Captain Dave adjusted his yellow hat and smiled. A smile that seemed to contain the entire day's worth of joy and adventure. "Indeed, my friend," he responded. "Every day is an opportunity. Every moment is a potential adventure. And true friendship, well, that can be found in the most unexpected places." Outside, the stars began to twinkle, reflecting on the water's surface like a million tiny diamonds, each one telling a story of its own. The captain drifted off to sleep, dreaming of sandcastles that touched the clouds and seaweed sandwiches that tasted like adventure. In his dreams, he saw Sam teaching a whole flock of seagulls to play volleyball with Larry, while the Mellow Submarine sparkled in the sunlight like a treasure chest full of golden memories. And somewhere above the gentle waves of Deep Bay, Sam the seagull perched on his favorite lighthouse ledge, gazing down at the underwater lights of the Mellow Submarine with a contented heart. He had started the day as a lonely seagull looking for lunch, but he was ending it as part of something special, a crew that valued friendship, adventure, and the simple joy of sharing a picnic on a sunny beach. He couldn't wait for tomorrow's journey to Rainbow Reef, but he knew that no matter what treasures they might find there, nothing could be more precious than the gift he already received, a place to belong, with friends who saw him as more than just another seagull on the shore. The night passed quietly, broken only by the gentle lapping of waves on the shore and the occasional call of a distant whale. In the morning, the sun would rise again over Deep Bay, and three friends would begin a new chapter in their story together. But for now, they slept peacefully, their hearts full of joy from a simple day that had turned out to be extraordinary in the most wonderful way.
When the night falls softly and stars light up the sky, Captain Dave tucks his crew in with a gentle lullaby. Dreams of whales and mermaids, of treasures lush and green, await each little sailor aboard the Mellow Submarine.
Ian Lindsay of Lindsay & Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. Ian has received several awards recognizing his exceptional community commitment locally, as well as awards for outstanding performance and achievement from both RE/MAX International and the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.